ビスケットが死んだ。大事な仲間がまた一人行っちまったけど、ここで足を止めるわけにはいかねえ。俺たちの仕事はまだ終わってねえからさ。ビスケットは誰よりも責任感が強かった。あいつが安心できるようにこの仕事はきっちり最後まで終わらせる。この地球には俺たちを潰したがってる奴らがいる。ビスケットはその犠牲になっちまった。
So yeah, I know this is incredibly late, but better late than never, right? And part of this is because I was actually trying to readjust after coming back from my trip, and I had to catch up on a lot of schoolwork, so that kind of sucked complete balls. And another reason is, well, I actually wanted to have these episodes fresh in my mind when I watched episode 24, which by the way looks hella fucking awesome because of Gray's Iron, but we'll talk about that later. So anyways, as for episode 22, the entire episode I felt was just Tekkedan pretty much grieving over the loss of Biscuit. And one of the main things I noticed in this episode was that Orga was having a sort of mental breakdown, and he was just beating himself up because he blames himself for Biscuit's death. And then eventually near the end of the episode, Mikazuki comes into Orga's room to quote unquote cheer him up. And what cheering up in Mikazuki's mind is really just saying, "What do I do now, Orga?" like 50,000 times, and Orga just got kind of irritated at Mikazuki, just, you know, messing with him. He pushed Mikazuki against the wall, and they started having, you know, a little bro moment there. And then Orga just, you know, snapped out of his mental breakdown, and I believe he sort of grew as a person at that moment. And then this is the golden part right here. They do this thing where they're on the ship and they're having a little meeting and gathering, and Orga gives his little morale boost speech and says, "It's not over yet, we still have a goal, we have to, you know, get our shit together, we're still in this to the end, you know." And this really reminded me of Metal Gear Solid 5, where Big Boss, and if you play the game, you know, well, the true story behind Big Boss, and, you know, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I probably did right there. But it reminded me of the Diamond Dogs, and he's like, "We're all diamonds," and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty fucking hilarious. And I'm not sure if this was actually inspired by Metal Gear Solid 5, but it felt like exactly the same type of moments, like the scenery, and just it was really cool to see, honestly. Another thing that I found pretty interesting in this episode was how Farid and Galio were having this conversation about the Great Calamity War, and pretty much gave a brief description of Ghjallarhorn's history back then, and, you know, all the Gundam frames and the AV being used to put an end to the war. And what I found interesting the most about this whole conversation was how Farid sort of mentioned that the AV will help them, you know, put stop to everything in their fights at the moment. And Galio sort of actually, I don't know, man, I think he thinks it's just like really bad to do, obviously, but by the tone of his voice and his usage of words, it really does seem like he will actually consider putting it on his body himself. And by episode 23, we all know that Ein, well, obviously, became a Graze. Yeah, like, he is literally a Graze. It's called Gray's Iron. Now this thing is one tall and scary looking mofo, and this guy will be apparently fighting Tekkedan in the next episode, which I cannot wait for, honestly. But you really do have to feel some sort of pity towards Iron. I mean, like, he is literally just nothing. He's complete poo-poo right now, and the only thing pulling himself together and just his driving force at the moment is just revenge. And at the moment, revenge seems to be like the biggest little motive or driving force for like all the characters in the story at the moment, because Tekkedan is literally the definition of revenge at the moment. And even like the lady, you know, that helped cheer Orga up at the bar a long time ago, she thinks Tekkedan has gone completely insane. Like, all the children soldiers are just very angry, and just they have a pure hatred towards Ghjallarhorn for killing Biscuit and all their other comrades, and they just don't have any care in the world anymore, and they will do anything to eliminate anything that gets in their way. And what I found really just admirable about episode 23 was Mikazuki himself. And we all know Mikazuki is, well, you know, obviously ruthless as fuck. But in this episode, he was just savage. I mean, like, Carta just shows up with 2 of her subordinates, and they're like, Tekkedan, I want to challenge you on a 3-on-3 fight with mobile suits. I will give you 30 minutes to prepare for this fight. And as she was wrapping up her little speech, you can see Mikazuki just dart right towards one of her subordinates, just knock him off. And I think he actually splatters at the snow. You can see his little body of blood. Just like, what? Mikazuki just knocked him off like a baseball strike. And he just flies on the ground, his blood splatter, and just, what the fuck? And then he goes for the other guy, and he just wrecks him, and it's just, oh my god, like this whole death scene that he just caused, like this whole massacre, it was just brutal. Like, it was just so bloody and just, wow. I know, I honestly really loved it. It was hella cool. And then last but not least, Carta. Yeah, I was actually kind of hoping Carta wouldn't die, because this scene itself was just so brutal, and it was so sad too, especially after Farid told Carta that, you know, he looked up to her and stuff like that. And Farid, by the way, is such a manipulator. I'm getting so much manipulation vibes from him. I mean, he can't possibly just be that way. I mean, he's obviously trying to, you know, get these guys, you know, working towards his goal, or have them doing what he wants them to do for his own benefit, you know. But anyways, Mikazuki just completely wrecks Carta, and she actually does die, I believe, because you can see her, you know, like life force in her eyes as Galio is, you know, driving her away. Like, it just dims out, you know, she's gone. She is dead. I'm just like, wow, I can't believe this actually happened. And then I'm pretty sure Galio may die by episode 25, or on episode 25, because Farid, as I said before, has tried his best to sort of be on the good side for both Carta and Galio, and he wants them to do what, you know, is in his best interests. He wants them to do all the dirty work for him, and seeing Galio die wouldn't really be that surprising, considering how IBO loves to kill characters pretty often. But overall, out of both episodes, episode 23, in my opinion, was the better episode because of, well, Mikazuki himself. I mean, that fighting scene made me actually smile. It was so cool and entertaining to watch, and I love how he does not let his emotions get in his way during his fights. I mean, he's like, I will not let anything get in the way of Tekkedan, and he, you know, obviously lives by that 100%. He doesn't let emotions get in the way of anything. He just kills everybody. And just, it's so cool to see a Gundam protagonist do this. Alright, so that just about wraps up this little combination of episode reviews due to my absence. But anyways, I really do want to hear what you guys think of these episodes, and which one is your favorite and why, and just leave a comment down below. But anyways guys, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.
舞い落ちる花